Hello, everyone. My name is Anika Naklani. I am, thank you so much for joining us during this wellness webinar. Sorry, the phone's ringing in the background. This is the last and final webinar of our series. And it's actually it's very important to me, and I hope to most of the faculty and the residents. It's something that's very near and dear to my heart. And that is our wellness program. I am in charge of resident wellness for the department, and it's such a great honor because I think it's a very important part of development, and actually having this resource to kind of get you through the very difficult, not difficult, but it can be difficult 3 years. So again, welcome. I have some panelists that are here to join us. Oh, so that's me. I am wellness director and in charge of the simulation fellowship, as well as the simulation for the residency. I have Dr. Yoneda Neo. She's our APD, or our associate residency director. Dr. Louie here, she's in charge of all of our medical students as our clerkship director. Lily, who will be joining us shortly, she's probably one of the busiest, is she here? Nope, not yet. She's one of the busiest people here because she deals with all of the things that we have. And then finally we have Dr. Parikh, who is obviously our program director. He is on another call. He should be joining us very shortly.
I'm here. I was just eating my lunch and I didn't want to keep eating my lunch, so I'm going to mute my video again.
Oh, that's okay. Eating lunch is good for wellness as well. You have to make sure that you're good and fed. We have a couple residents as well that's going to join us for our panel. First, we're going to have our PGY1, Dr. Smith, Brian. We also have other residents on the webinar as well, but we're going to have one representative from each class. So we have Dr. Smith here. Say hi, Brian. Oh, oh, sorry, you're muted. It's okay. Then we also have Dr. Chang, but I believe he is not done with his webinar, so he should be joining us shortly. And then finally, all the way from Philadelphia, we have Dr. Briones, who is away on trauma right now, and she is our PGY3 representative. So we've got a nice little mix of faculty and residents so that we can give you just like a really good idea of what wellness means to us at NYPQ. So that, instead of this being just like round robin, I would really encourage anyone that has questions or any comments to just kind of chime in. I'm not a lecturer, hence my proclivity to sim. So I don't really like to talk a lot, but I just want to explain a couple things about what our curriculum is like and how we do it here. And then I'll direct a couple questions to some of our panelists specifically. So first and foremost, what is wellness? So I think the general idea that everyone thinks wellness is we like to go out with our friends and be social and have fun. And we definitely do love doing that, and we are very, very close. It's one of the most unique. Yes, and I can't turn that notification thing off, but
I don't see your notifications. They're not being projected on the webinar. So
oh, thank goodness.
Yeah. Everyone send Anika funny text.
Yeah, well, I'm terrified now. One of the things I think that is very unique to our program, if you ask any of the alumni or some of their, any of our residents, is that we have this like very bizarre, strange familial closeness, which, I mean, it's not bizarre, I guess, but we are very, very close. And while most programs will also say the same thing, I feel like we do this very well and probably the best. But wellness in general was started in terms for medicine in general for just to kind of promote complete well-being for residents, medical students, and physicians in general. So the curriculum has is vetted and is specific to what I call the spokes of wellness. So to be well, you not only need to be well, you know, physically well, but you need to be spiritually well, mentally well, as well as financially well, and wellness in your occupation. So we created a series of lectures within our wellness curriculum that we give maybe once every 6 weeks, anywhere between 20 to 30 minutes during conference, dedicated specifically for the topic that is in the curriculum. So I usually give them. Sometimes I'll ask others more proficient in the subject, more proficient than myself, to give the topic. So we'll do a lecture on financial wellness, emotional wellness, spiritual wellness. We do a sleep lecture on burnout and what it means to us as an emergency physician. And in the next actual coming wellness talks, we'll be adding some mindfulness practices and mindfulness exercises that will help you get through kind of some stressors in residency. So that's how wellness started. But it's not just lecturing, because like I said, I'm not a big lecturer. I don't like doing that. We have events, and there are wellness events, and then there are well events. So the wellness events are just that, organized events where we try to take at least once a month a specific, we'll go to a particular place. So things we've done in the past, we've done, oh my goodness, axe throwing night. We've done a bowling night. We've done multiple park days at Gantry Park, at Astoria Park. And they're just really, small social events that we'll do usually on a Wednesday, because that's when most of us have off, to kind of decompress and just be with each other. It's very kumbaya. And then the second part is the well event. We'll also do that once a month, once every 2 months. And that is essentially a more organized forum of where you can express your grievances or any thoughts or things that are on your mind, to get them off of your mind, and in a place where you're judgment free. And each well event has a specific topic, whether it's moments of difficulty with challenging issues in the clinically, or specific difficult topics in emergency medicine, like toxic environments, anything that you really just need to get off your chest. We just had a well event a couple weeks ago that was specific to our Depression and Physician Suicide Awareness Day. So those are kind of what we have built in the wellness curriculum, but we do so much more for wellness, and I'm going to kind of ask my panel to help me out and share your stories and experiences with us to help kind of better understand. Is Dr. Parikh still there? He jumped off on the question that I really wanted to ask him most. No?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm here. Hold on one second.
Okay. Sorry.
I'm here.
You're so mysterious.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I'm typing in chat, so I'm obviously here. But yeah, my favorite wellness event was when Dr. Nikolani took all of us to see Hamilton on Broadway, and she paid for everything. That was really nice.
Oh, really? That's a hint there.
Hint.
I wasn't invited to that yet.
So I'm gonna have to step off this webinar in about 15 minutes. So I did want to just briefly kind of just give everyone an idea of kind of how wellness has evolved in our residency. I mean, if I take you back just even 5 years ago, this was not really structured at all. And I think in the course of the last 5 years, we have done an amazing job in, bringing wellness to kind of the forefront of all of our minds. And, whether it is the lectures, the wonderful lectures and the curriculum that Dr. Nikolani has structured and created, and deliver so well every 6 weeks, to the well vents that we do. Wellness is really, really a top priority here in this residency. And it wasn't necessarily before. I mean, there was always an awareness of wellness, but now we actively on a regular basis make sure that we are doing something to promote wellness in the residency. One of the biggest things, and I've mentioned this to students before on the interview trail and at residency fairs, Wednesday wellness. We take pride in Wednesday wellness. So we have an amazing didactic experience in the morning. So great learning in the morning, and none of our residents actually go to shift after conference is done. And that is, I think, huge, because in most other places, conference in the morning will be followed by clinical work. And the reason that is we have a great set of PAs and attendings that staff the ED on Wednesdays. So that allows for all of our residents to have great learning in the morning, and then of course bond, hang out, have fun together, get to know each other, and participate in wellness events. And I think that is equally as important as the education in the morning. So, Wednesday wellness is something that we take pride in. It's part of our, residency. It's part of our family. And I think overall our residents are very, very happy about that. When I even once mentioned, hey, does anybody want to go back for a 3 to 11 shift after conference, I got death threats. So, so Wednesday wellness is definitely here to stay. And as long as we have the infrastructure to make it happen, that will definitely be preserved. The type of events that we do because of Wednesday wellness is also amazing, in that Dr. Niklani and the rest of the residency, they put their heads together to really come up with unique a unique variety of different types of events. So it's not just everybody hangs out and at a restaurant or a bar type of thing, but it is a combination of different athletic activities, cultural activities, music activities. And I'm always finding that there's something new that is being brought to the table. So for example, I believe very soon we're going on a jack-o'-lantern blaze. We have done things like escape the room and cultural shows and axe throwing, like Dr. Niklani had mentioned. So, I like to think, although my residents remind me of this all the time, I like to think that I'm a younger PD. I know PDs who are definitely in their 50s and 60s, and I graduated. To be completely transparent, I graduated residency in 2007, which was, yes, I know, 13 years ago, but I still feel young like a resident at times, and I know how important it is to be on top of your wellness and to take care of your body and your soul and your spirit and all of that. So wellness will always be prioritized, here at NYPQ. And that's really all I have to say.
Thank you, Dr. Parikh. That was like a nice little chunk of like a review of wellness. That's awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
I think you're
yes,
still young, too. Still young at heart.
Yes.
And in general.
You look 13 years younger.
Maybe, I don't know. But with the Instagram and the Snapchat filter, I might look young.
I guess since we have you only for a little bit, I'm going to just jump to this question. I'll ask Dr. Parikh, Dr. Yoneda, and maybe Dr. Briones. Brian, Victor, Jing, you guys are very, very fresh, so maybe this question doesn't really pertain to you. But and also Dr. Louis, what are some helpful resources do you think that are built into the program to ensure resident wellness? You mentioned that we have Wednesdays now free completely without having to do any clinical duties. What other things would you say the program builds in to help ensure wellness?
So I would say that one thing I'm appreciative about is that the attendings, of their own accord, we do prompt them a little bit. They all chip in an annual sum of money to go towards what we call the slush fund. And that makes it so that we can buy pizza or lunch for the residents when we have a longer conference day. It makes it so that we can incorporate games into conference and, hand out prizes. And, that is something that I think a lot of programs do, just to have a little bit extra spending cash that the GME doesn't really allocate for. But to extend that, I was really super touched by the outpouring of support from different attendings, and definitely a lot of the residents. A lot of the residents and their families donated so much, knowing that that our residents potentially were in danger if they didn't have enough PPE. They got us gowns, and just, it was really amazing. And also like lunch, dinner, when you know that you're working straight through without eating. And, like we had mentioned before in passing, like being able to nourish yourselves, going to the bathroom, like taking care of yourselves and not getting ill while you're in the pit working is so important. And I feel like that community outreach was really quite something. Other than that, I feel like, we have a pretty robust mentorship program, and we encourage the residents to all select a mentor who inspires you, who you can speak to about things related to work and personal items also. But the residents themselves also have buddies within the system. And I feel like that I'm glad that everyone has somebody if they need it. What else can we speak? Sleep voucher, the travel vouchers. If you are, you're sleep deprived, you had to stay late after shift, and you need to get home, and you don't feel comfortable driving or taking public transport at a weird time, you can just reach out to the attending on the shift, and they'll get you a voucher for taxi. I think like fun. We prioritize fun, but we also prioritize like safety and well-being too in other ways.
Thank you, Dr. Yoneda.
Oh,
Yes.
I actually don't even know where to begin because I feel like I have so much to talk about in regards to like this subject. I think the question was what resources we have in terms of wellness here. And like the first thing that I thought of was literally just each other. Our genuinely our wellness resource is each other, like residents wise, attendings wise. I feel like that. So right now, as you guys mentioned, I'm in Philly for our trauma rotation. I'm here with Nina, and over and over and over again, we just keep talking about how much we miss like each other, and how I think Nina mentioned recently that the one thing that's so different about our place compared to other places and compared to the place that we're kind of in right now is that it's there, while everyone's really nice and like it's just work at all these other places. At our program, everyone just has so much joy. Like that was the word that she used. She was like, I just miss how much joy everyone had around each other, and to be working with each other, and to go home and then just like hang out with each other and see each other. And like that word is the one like word that I can really use to describe our program in like one way. It's like it's joy. And I can say that, so we obviously have well vents, and I know that even recently we had a well vent where it was based on like what was it, difficult patient encounters, and I vividly remember this. I was overnight 2 nights in a row, and they were just 2 of the most difficult overnights that I had in a very long time. Not because of, patient volume or work or anything, but it was the patients that I had that were, they just kind of like, sometimes you have these patients that just knock you down and make you feel like you are not worthy of anything. And I remember getting to the well vent late, and everyone had already kind of just wrapped up, and they like were already talking and just hanging out and stuff. And I got in and I heard what the topic was, and I was like, I have something to vent about. And like, I just vented, and I told everyone, like, I don't remember the last time that I had to, take laps around the ED to just try to not break down. But these 2 nights, like it was both nights in a row, and it was like weighing down on me so much. And it was so valuable having our own people there to just say, you know, just the reassurance of saying like, you did the best that you could, you know, and like you just having reassurance from people that whose opinion you value and whose opinion you respect. That's kind of a big deal, you know. And I think ultimately wellness to us really is just being able to be around each other, being with people that you respect, being with people that you like, that you want to hear from and to vent to, and to you know, help lift your spirits. Because even if you had a wellness curriculum with, you know, at any other place that has all of the same things that we have, if you don't really care to be around those people, it's not really going to be as meaningful, right? So I don't know, I think that's kind of like the chunk of what I think of wellness when it comes to NYPQ. And actually, like on shift, maybe last week or something, at this hospital that we're rotating through, it has a bunch of rotators from other hospitals, and me and Nina again were talking about like our program, blah blah blah, and we're talking about Wellness Wednesdays, and the resident was like, what? Wait, what? And then we said it in passing and stuff. He was like, whoa, what's Wellness Wednesday? And we were like, oh, it's like this, like, you know, after conference, you know, don't you guys have Wednesday conference? And he was like, yeah, but like, what do you mean by Wellness Wednesday? And I was like, yeah, afterwards no one goes to work. We all just like hang out and stuff. And we do it pretty often, almost every Wednesday. And he was like, whoa. Our wellness is basically them giving us 2 PowerPoint lectures per year talking about sleep and then talking about eating right. And then that's your wellness curriculum. And like, he was like, I can't believe this is something that happens at other places. And I was like, I don't know if it happens at other places, but it happens at ours. So I don't know, it was something that kind of brought it home, like how valuable our experience has been through residency because of just like wellness and like just being around each other. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Natalie. It's like so heartwarming to hear that you've been like touched by kind of things that we have here and already put on, especially leaning on the people that you work with and your friends. And I do the same thing as well. It's actually really good that you mentioned that you had just like a very difficult patient encounter, and we did have a wall vent from there. Listen, I don't think it's anything hidden. Residency is tough, and that is why we have to kind of provide you with the skills and the tools to be resilient during the 3 years. I'm going to direct, just because I want to hear from the kiddies up here. Oh, shoot. Brian, Victor, and Jane Jane. Have you, I can unmute them. Have you guys had any, I mean, in your very short, few months so far, I know Jane Jane just came off of the NYPQ though. Have you had any obstacles that you've encountered in which you're probably not equipped or knew how to deal with? And how have you had any coping strategies in terms of dealing with that, in terms of like keeping your wellness a priority?
Yeah, so I was just on medical ICU, and it was really hard for me. The hardest thing was coping with death, because I'm a fresh intern, as you mentioned, and it's not something I really had much exposure to as a medical student. So to like see critical patients over and over and have them sometimes have not so great outcomes because it's a critical patient, it just became very emotionally draining after 4 or 5 days in a row. So I am actually really, I totally agree with Natalie, like having co-residents who I feel comfortable enough to speak with is so important. We have like a WhatsApp group with like other residents, and then we also have one for our intern class. So first thing I did is I went onto my WhatsApp and I just texted my group class, and I was like, guys, I had a really rough shift, like, can we please talk? And within the next 5 minutes, I got 4 different text messages from different people. I got one call, who I basically cried my eyes out while on the phone. And by the time I got home, my wellness buddy, she was actually at my apartment. She was like, yeah, Aurora. So she was like, hey girl, like, I think you really like needed some like hugs. And I just felt like that was a moment when I really knew like, yeah, like residency is tough, but I definitely chose the right place for me and I'm gonna get through this. So
Can you tell us what you're, so just as I'm just putting in a plug, what's a wellness buddy? I think.
oh yeah. Yeah, so at our program, we get about the first 2-3 months to decide one person who, if all other, I guess, wellness safety valves fail, that's the go-to person we call up. And basically, if I'm feeling really down, I'm really depressed, I want to kill myself, that's the person we go to. And obviously that's not gonna happen, but that's like the best way to, like, I think about it. And they're the person that I really trust. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And
Well, it actually historically it used to be called the suicide buddy, and then we were like, no, we're gonna change the name because that's just way too super morbid. So it is now the wellness buddy, but yes, it is essentially your suicide buddy.
yeah.
That means the person you call when things are rough, not the person you commit suicide with. Just to, yeah, just to clarify. Confuses people sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like we're all each other's wellness buddies, really.
Yeah.
Like, even if we have one designated one, we all kind of vent to each other. Like, for me, like, I don't like disappointing people. And I have sometimes where I have patients who are like, don't really want to help themselves. And I try to do the best thing for them. And they're, it can be frustrating. And it's really good to know that we have a great group of people here. And we're all like, everyone has a great relationship between attendings and residents. You can really talk to anyone. There's always going to be someone there to, pick you up when you're a little down.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. So yeah, we have wellness buddies, we have mentors, we have these forums that allow you to kind of get your grievances off. I always tell, I can be kind of like crazy during clinical shift, and then when I come off, I always need a debrief. And again, another sim plug. So I think a couple times I've called Dr. Louie, I've called Dr. Yoneda and say, I need to debrief. And it is essentially just getting everything off, talking about your crazy day, having somebody else hear you, acknowledge, and then you can move on. And that's the whole point of it, to be able to be resilient and to be able to get through another day, and then remember that this is what we love to do.
I wanted to mention though, before you move on, I think that in itself, like the fact that our own attendings are calling each other and our own attendings lean on each other and our own attendings are friends with each other is kind of what is like the infrastructure for our wellness, you know what I mean? Because it's already united above us, and having that and having people that we look up to and seeing that you could be a good doctor and go through these difficult shifts but still also have each other's backs without having to like be sneaky with each other, like I think having attendings that are good role models in the wellness sense, in the friendship sense, and on top of being clinically good role models, I think that's one basis for our wellness too.
I feel like just to, you guys have all said it beautifully, but my personal take on it is we have to talk about the hard cases. We have to let it out. And you might think that you're the type of person, like I'm very shy, I'm quiet, I kind of have times where I just want to do like me time, but regardless of what your personality is, if you try to just hold it in and cope with it by yourself, I feel like everyone has a breaking point. And modern wellness, a big part of that is being able to lean on people and communicate. And the great thing about emergency medicine is what you're going through, as hard as it is, there's a good chance that the person right next to you has been through it too. And so when you need a confidant or a mentor or something like that, there's someone in arm's reach, and that's the person who's going to really help you get through it. And in the same vein, when they're going through a hard time, you can be there for them too. Really important.
Thanks, guys. So I want to move on to just a different question. I'm going to direct this one to I'll kind of just intro this a little bit. In every program, we're with each other for 3 straight years, sometimes more for me. So I have learned to really lean on the people that are around me, and we've talked about how much we love each other and how important we are and necessary we are. But in any large group, in any setting, in residencies, unfortunately, tragedies happen here and there. And this is why we create wellness, to be able to better cope with it, to be able to be more comfortable in all different aspects of our lives so that we can move forward. I want to mention that there was one special resident a few years ago who was very near and dear to all of us, and he really and truly embodied the spirit of what a compassionate physician would be, a well-rounded human being is. And his name was JM. He was unfortunately taken from us a few years ago. And I want to say that he really, really changed a lot of our lives. And it also gave us an idea on how we could cope with this very, very difficult situation. So I kind of want to I want to give the spotlight a little bit to Dr. Louis to mention a little bit about him and what we've done to kind of honor his memory.
Yes, hi. So JM, John Michael Kwok, he was my co-resident. He was in the class of 2018. He died in August 29th, 2017, after a long and courageous battle with melanoma. So during that time, he was actually my buddy, right? My, wellness buddy, okay. And so we did a lot of things together. We kind of hit it off as besties, right, since day one. So when he was fighting this, cancer, it was hard for all of us, and we all had to be there essentially together for him. And I think that even now, in honor of his memory, what we do is we still get together. We'll still hang out on JM's birthday. We'll still hang out on JM's death anniversary. And actually, out of his death, the generosity of his family, we have created a JM International Global Medicine Fund, where our third-year residents get a chance to get a stipend essentially to travel to a different country and do a rotation there. So it's the JM Kwok Fund, which is essentially, for the third years during their elective time. In addition, we have dedicated our blog to JM, so the JM Kwok Talk, or actually just Kwok Talk, not JM, just Kwok Talk. And during graduation, we honor his spirit by dedicating what we call the JM Spirit Award to the graduating residents that best, embodies that personality, that warmth, that magical ability that he had to make you feel, loved, essentially. He was probably the best doctor that I've ever known. So, and I think that his death was hard for all of us. And it's something that, again, the wellness was really important during that time, right? When anybody has any kind of tragic loss. Mm-hmm.
I wanted to say that I've been asked this question, what makes an amazing resident during forums and panels. And I said this before, and I'll never tire of saying it, but I feel like if you can be like JM and be kind and compassionate and passionate, then that's all we would ever ask. Just to tell you a little bit about him, like he was more concerned about other people, I think, as he was dying. Like that's the kind of person he was. And as hard as it was, and we can't predict the kind of loss and tragedy that we'll go through. People have lost siblings and parents while they're in the program. We've lost friends. It's really about who you can walk alongside as you're trying to heal and mend, and also about memorializing them and to keep talking about him, like to ask me questions about him. Like I'm happy to tell you all about him and what an amazing human he was. And I think it's fitting that, you know, he brought people together when he was alive, and even in death, he still brings people together now. And I'm glad we can still talk about him and remember him on not just the special occasions, but like I, for one, if I start feeling burnt out, I always try to remember how when he got too sick to work, he told me how much he missed taking care of patients, you know, and when you start feeling like the going gets rough and you don't want to walk through those ambulance doors and start the shift and you're tired and sleep deprived, it's like important to remember that. Thank you, Jan.
Thank you, Nao. Yes, I'm going to second that. I knew Jam as well. I remembered him to be someone who enjoyed what he did, as well as enjoyed life as well, and as well as enjoying life. So he was a big traveler. He loved being with his friends. He just I guess he like oozed sunshine. But one of the things I think that I remember is that he was not just, he was a great emergency resident physician, but there were so many other things that kind of made him unique. And as a segue to that, I think that what makes all of us unique, especially in this department, is that we are interested in lots of different things. And while we work, we hustle and we work hard, but when we go out, we play hard too. So my next question is to mostly the residents, and some of our former residents are essentially, what do you guys do? I mean, outside of the walls of NYPQ
What do you do to stay
safe? I know a lot of you are into a lot. Yes. So what do you do to stay sane? So I'll start with myself. I'm a big Broadway fan. When Broadway comes back, hopefully in January, I will be there every week. So I really love musical theater, even though I'm probably not the best at performing. But it's one way that I like to decompress. I'm gonna go to the kiddies upstairs. Why don't you guys start? I know Kenny's on the phone too, so we'll go to Kenny next.
Maybe we can have Sunny answer also. I see
Oh
him.
yeah, Sunny too.
Sunny is our med ed fellow, medical.
Unmute upstairs.
What do you do outside of these little walls? Outside of these walls, I learn about learning. No.
Oh.
Not okay.
Sunny for
Actually,
education.
appropriate answer.
Actually,
Don't know.
yeah, I'm a medical education fellow. I do think that wellness is like kind of an underrepresented part of actually education. I think it ties into education just as much as it is a thing that's separate from your learning. I'm a big proponent of staying active, so I like to run. I live in Astoria, like kind of near the water, so I'll run out there sometimes. I like to climb. There's some outdoor climbing walls that have been open for a couple months, and I think the indoor ones are opening up soon as well, or maybe
They're already open.
They just opened this week, right? Yeah. So I like to climb. I cook a lot, and something that I kind of like fell by the wayside when I got busy with like med school and residency and stuff, but I have a little more time now, is I've been playing more video games. So started playing a little Mario Odyssey lately, and I don't know, just a little bit of everything. So
It helps with the hand-eye coordination.
Brian?
Yeah, I mean, I just like trying to like do a little bit of everything. Just like trying to keep up with my hobbies that I had before residency. And I haven't really been going to the gym much, and like they're not really a thing anymore. But I used to go to the gym. Like the beach when it's nice out. I love going to the beach. I love to cook.
Long Island boy.
It's a Long Island boy, yeah, exactly. I like to cook. I like to read books. I like to listen to podcasts and like researching stocks whenever I can get the time to do that. So I try.
God, you're a finance bro.
Yeah. And play video games too. I don't know, I have a lot of hobbies. Yeah. Yeah. Was it?
Golden.
Oh, and I have a dog. Yeah.
Golden
But, yeah, I have a golden
George.
retriever. He's really cute. He keeps me sane. Yeah. And they really wanted me to plug that.
We're a canine friendly residents.
Yeah. And feel.
Yes. We have a slideshow kind of at the end, and we'll.
You don't discriminate against animals except for Sunny.
Only because cats are the worst.
No.
Aw.
You didn't hear that.
Oh.
I have 2 cats.
We
Okay.
have
Jing,
debate.
what about you? You
Oh.
have a very unique hobby.
Oh yeah, I also really enjoy rock climbing. I go a lot, and I found with co-residents. And if you become a co-resident here, we can go together.
Jing is a rock.
We're gonna make that a wellness event.
I forgot about that.
You
Yeah.
About the wall that takes up half of your
It's literally in your bedroom.
Yeah. So I inherited a climbing wall, and it's now in my bedroom. I sleep on top of it. It's great.
I tried climbing.
Yeah,
it's
you should
really,
come visit.
It's so hard. Jing can do it so easily, and I just look so dumb trying to just
I
like
have
climb up.
a video of Brian. If you want to see it, let me know.
Do you want to?
I want to see it. But we did a wellness rock climbing. Well, it was bouldering, like inside bouldering, and I got to the top and I was super proud of myself, and then I was like scared to come down. But then I just let go, and everyone encouraged me to do it, and it was safe, and I'm alive to talk about it today.
That's
So,
good.
it's great. I'm not good, but I can be better.
How about Victor?
I like to de-stress by eating and gaining all the weight and
I'm losing.
and I try to like do my own thing. During COVID dancing
He's a really good hip hop dancer.
I
Follow
do
him
it
on
on-
Instagram.
on the side, you know, hustle some money over this for the salary, but yeah, I like to like yeah, in the past, but not anymore. But it's very freeing. I can do it by myself, although I really do miss being with people. But you know, you learn how to cope. And like, I don't have a dog, but I have a niece, so family's big for me. So I'm lucky for that, and your family, I guess.
Oh, Victor, we could dance. I could try.
Guys, how about Natalie?
So I feel like one of my favorite things to do to just like de-stress since intern year has always been cooking with my co-residents. Like because there are a few of us that just live very close to each other and stuff. So we would very regularly just go to each other's house and be like, all right, what are we making tonight? And like, we'll, you know, one day it was like a pizza night. So I like taught them how to make artisan pizza with like my pizza stone and stuff like that. And then it's like, then Ashraf will make us basically chicken and rice, which is very like stereotypical of him, but you know, we'll do these things where it's like actual, like everyone's making one component of the meal and then we just like eat it together. And I feel like that plus being able to vent about like your crappy day and vent about things that are just bothering you and stuff is like, it honestly kept me sane for all of like intern year. It's always really hard to do that though, because obviously our schedules just don't always match up. So it's rare that we get to do it, but every time we do it, it's like my favorite thing ever. And aside from that, I mean, obviously like the well vents and every time we all just like get together as a group. But I also try to I'm trying to work out again more often ever since the gym started opening up. And that's it. I mean, I also have this weird like love for interior design and interior decorating and stuff. So I basically just like, I like doing DIY stuff. So. Oh, you're muted.
Sorry. I tried DIY, but it's I have not been successful with any project yet. I'm not the best at it. Kenny, are you there?
Oh shoot! Hey, how's it going? Yeah.
You in the hospital, Kenny?
I'm in the hospital, unfortunately. So I'm.
Oh my goodness.
Hey guys, it's not by choice this time. So yeah, I'm Kenny. For those of you that are on this podcast, one of the second years, I'm on sicky right now. So this is like definitely one of the highlight. It's like the highlight of my day. It's my wellness for sure. I'll save the well vent for a little bit later, but I guess things I like to do for fun. I like hang out with my co-residents a lot. I live right in downtown Flushing, super amazing food place. My roommate, Stephen Chen, the legend, he's my roommate. It's for the past 2 years. And then 3 of the other guys in our program, including one intern, they all live upstairs. So we do some like gatherings. I'm a pretty simple person. I just like doing really random things. So it's been, I don't know, I kind of just follow along and then kind of laugh, well vent, all these things. I'm also a big foodie. I don't know if I'm bad at cooking or if I'm just lazy, but or maybe it's because New York City, food's really amazing. I have this obsession with momos, so like I go to Jackson Heights a lot. There's also a really good food court. It's what's it called? New World Mall. Yeah, I'm remembering things now. New World Mall, and then I've been there so many times. It's been like a whole year, and I still haven't tried every single place. Yeah, momos, some interesting momos. Yeah, it's one of the most unique things about New York, and a lot of other things. But yeah, I'm a pretty simple person, but I'm keeps me pretty happy.
We recently,
Yeah.
when you're done with the SICU, we'll commemorate and go for momos.
Oh, thank you. Yes, yeah, good old SICU. This is great. This is a great rotation. I love it. Yeah,
We miss you.
yeah, I miss you guys too. It's yeah, 1 or 2 more weeks. It'll be good.
We're so
Yeah.
close. Kenny,
Yeah.
me and you both are off service right now, and me and Nina too are also saying how much we like want to go back already.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. So
Yeah.
soon enough. Soon enough.
Thanks,
So
thanks
we're-
Hang in
guys.
there, guys. Hang in there.
Yeah.
We also
Thank you. We'll do.
Being here despite being off service. I know it's not easy.
let's like let's do a Momo night and like make momos.
Oh shoot, I gotta look it up.
Put the
Yes,
recipe of how
I'll
to
look.
do it. We can make our
We'll
own.
look it up. Yes, I have to look that up.
All right,
Yeah,
thank you so much, guys. I just want to second what Kenny said. Like, we're in New York City. There is no place in the country or possibly in the world where you're going to get this many diverse cultures and have this much great options for food. So if you are a foodie, this is the place to be. We are a like less than 45-minute train ride on the 7, very, very close to Manhattan too. And we also have all the different boroughs, Queens, Brooklyn, the Bronx. I mean, they're all known for their particular cuisine. So if food is your thing, this is the place to be. Okay, I want to just get to my last and final question before I want to show some photos of some of our wellness events. And this is going to go to kind of everybody round robin. We are a residency of traditions. We love to make new ones, and we can't really let go of our older ones. So I want to ask you, maybe the interns might not have any yet because you haven't had a full year, but just going from our alumni to our senior residents, what has been, so since we have a lot of tried and true traditions, what has been one of your favorite traditions? Oh, Lily.
Is Lily here?
Lily, are you here? Lily.
We could give her the floor, but
I'll give you the floor. If you don't want to talk, it's okay though. It's okay.
I think she might have stepped off. It's okay.
She's a busy lady. Let's start with you, Dr. Yoneda.
Okay, so there are a lot of amazing events. We kind of tried to bring back the ski trip recently. It's been like a few years, and we just went skiing this past year after a long hiatus. There's the annual wine trip where we go to Long Island. But I think my all-time favorite is the annual retreat. And the last few years, we've been trying to do it on a Wednesday. So it takes the place of conference. We start out with the annual review, which is where we do a deep dive into comments that the residents make about the program and how we can improve upon the program. And that's all business, that's all shop. And then we do team building activities, we do like outdoor events. And I think the reason that I like it so much is because I get to do a scavenger hunt. I don't know if that will always end up being the team building activity. I planned 2 of them, and the sadist in me just really likes to make people do funny things and take picture evidence that I require to get the points. And I feel like everyone likes a little friendly competition. So that I really enjoy. And everything is calculated, even like how I construct the teams. I'll make it a mixture of people who are already like super in love with each other and best friends. And then I'll throw in a mix of some people that I know you're not close with, but you can totally be friends and get to know each other by unraveling some of my puzzles. And so I love that. And then we usually try to stay overnight. So in the past, we've gone to the Mohonk Mountain House, which kind of looks like, like a scary Stephen King movie a little bit, but it's like a luxury hotel up north, close to New Paltz. And then we've also done the Bear Mountain, which is a very popular hiking destination that's not too far. And we're always brainstorming our next destination, although 2020 had to be canceled. And that was like super down, like super sad, but that just means that next year is going to be better. So that's probably my favorite. Sorry, I was a little long-winded.
No, it's great. I love the retreat. It's one of my favorites. Dr. Louie, what is your favorite traditional event?
I was gonna say scavenger hunt because Dr. Dionata it's really awesome. I really like to problem solve, and she makes it really good, like riddles and like math problems and anagrams, and the scavenger hunt is really fun. And I think the residency retreat just really goes to show that how receptive leadership have been to, the residents' well-being, right? We want to make sure that we are having the best residency that the residents want, right? So we really are trying to cater towards your future and your success. I personally like the post ITE karaoke. I think that every year the residents have to take an in-training exam, and during the months of October, November, December, everyone's studying. There are study groups, and we have all of these lessons planned about preparing for it, and then we take the exam in February, and everybody goes to the local karaoke bar, and we rent this large room, and it's just so much fun. And every year it's just gets better and better because people are singing. I see people coming out of their shells. It's amazing. So yeah.
The ITE also marks like the second half of the year, so we have a lot of fun traditional events post ITE, only because we have residents graduating. This is their last kind of hurrah. We get to spend a lot of time with them. So our traditions, we have a few in the beginning, but a lot of them are towards the end. Thank you. Dr. Briones, what's your favorite event?
I was trying to think of this, and honestly, there are so many that I love that it's like really hard to pick like one favorite. But 100% the retreat, like absolutely. Because I think anytime you get to just hang out with our crew and like more than just like little snippets, like the fact that we get to just like hang out with each other for an entire like basically 2 days and then go to sleep together, well not together, but you know what I mean, like, and wake up, get breakfast, and then like do whatever we have to do, and then doing the scavenger hunt and stuff, and I've come to respect the retreat a lot in terms of the beginning part where we do the annual residency review, because every single thing, like I've realized this, we complain a lot. Like I feel like residents, just because like we're residents, like there's so many things that you can complain about, but the crazy thing is that our attendings actually really listen, and all the things that like any random tiny little gripe that anyone has, like suddenly like something's done about it, and it's something that I have so much respect for it, especially seeing like friends from other places and stuff who don't really get that same type of receptivity. So I love retreat for many reasons, but I also like love graduation too. I know we didn't get to go to this past year's graduation because of COVID, but I love like even when we first got here as interns, like it was like the first thing that we got to be part of was like residency, and we got to see like the passing of the torch and stuff from this new class that was leaving, and then we were kind of coming in, and then just like seeing that transition each year is kind of just really heartwarming, and seeing like the awards that they give out and these very meaningful awards of like, for example, the JM Kwok award, and like all like I don't know, even like research award, or like teaching attending of the year. These are things that like you don't really realize you value until you see like, oh my gosh, I absolutely love that attending got that award. Like it's like it's very meaningful. So I think like both graduation and the retreat are like very meaningful traditions that we have, on top of like ITE and like all the other, I feel like all the traditions we have are very meaningful, but like,
Yeah, no one wants to miss any of these like big events, but oh yeah, graduation's always like super fun. It's like bittersweet. It's a little sad because we're saying bye, but it's a great night, and a lot of work and planning goes into it, from you know, the entire department. So it's very, very well received. Dr. Chang, are you still there, or are you called? Oh God, why do I keep doing that?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely still here. Yep.
Okay, great. Favorite
Little
event?
break.
Favorite
Oh
event
man.
before
So yeah,
we get a sick
before
patient?
COVID, yeah. So well, before COVID happened, it was like too many. I guess we didn't get to do a lot of the retreat, but I think graduation is definitely one of them. It was like kind of our intro. So when we were interns, we call ourselves the intern boys because it was literally 9 dudes coming in, and we had such a fun time. Like I don't think I've ever laughed this hard at graduation. It was like all the, I don't want to like give too much away, but it was just so much fun. And even this year, like a year later, I'm watching like the graduation stream in my apartment with my roommate and like 2 other of my co-interns at that time, and that was a lot of fun too. And we were waving to the few people that were there. So yeah, even that was like kind of full circle. ITE, post ITE karaoke and buffet, that was really enjoyable as well. I may or may not remember some of it, but it's definitely a fun night for sure. And it's not just us, like all the like nurses and techs came out and had fun with us too. It was just everyone in the ED. This is all pre-COVID, so hopefully it happens soon. Hopefully we can do it this year.
I have high hopes. I have high hopes.
High hopes. I like that too. Yeah.
There are
So-
a lot of other traditions that we have as well. We have the welcome pool party that is thrown by the program director
Mhm.
to welcome the new interns and to allow them to kind of join us in our family. There's always a Thanksgiving potluck that we have. I know that Dr. Yoneda's favorite holiday is Thanksgiving, so we have this large, everybody cook something and bring something, and we just have one large family lunch. And it's always really good food, and you get to try, everyone's home cooking, or in my case, I don't know how to cook, so I will buy the food for you guys.
Still from the heart.
Yes.
But the Thanksgiving potluck is also like a great tradition that I like as well.
Yes.
And the PD pool party.
I also want to say I don't know anything about I was going to call it flag football, about fantasy football, but I think I'm in the WhatsApp chat and I'm an inaugural honorary member of Anika's team, but I think it's that you guys play.
We're in 4th place. Yes. One of our current 3rd years, Dr. Omar
Hello.
Dr. Omar Halal started this new tradition of fantasy football, and it's very, very well received. There's a lot of good, fun competition. We haven't done our punishment challenge yet. That actually goes to Dr. Halal, but hopefully we'll continue this tradition. I just want to say, I have a slideshow that I'd like to just like go through, unless we're running out of time.
We ran out of time already, but we still can go through it. If anyone who joined us has to go to their next virtual meeting or what be it, we won't be offended. But it's lengthy, but each slide is really short, and it kind of showcases some fun photos. It probably will be more fun than like 70s family vacation slideshow. But if you have to go, then that's okay too. No pressure. Hit it.
Yes. So this has been the slide that's been up. Thank you. I don't know how to use technology, clearly. So the photos are going to go in kind of a chronological order of how you would be experiencing wellness at NYPQ. So this is a picture of our new interns, well, 5 of them at the very least, and they are in front of our favorite location, especially on Wednesdays. This is the EM house. It's the hub of everything with the residency, with the program, with faculty, with residents. It's the office where we're going to find Lily, and usually everybody in the department on Wednesdays is in Lily's office. Unfortunately, she doesn't get anything done. So this is kind of the best place to kind of start, where wellness starts. It's a photo of us at Dr. Parik's annual PD barbecue. This was the program director's barbecue was Indian themed, so we had we had our interns get dressed up, as well as Dr. Parikh in traditional garb, and Dr. Yoneda as well. This then, after the PD barbecue in July, during the 1 month of orientation that you get to just love up on your new co-intern or co-residents and co-interns, we send you to Lake George, where you have like a 2.5-day retreat at 4 hours north for New York ASAP. And there, it's a lot of bonding, obviously a lot of learning as well. This is our current 3rd-year class on the right side, and then some of our faculty and our older chiefs, and Lily and Ava. And then during this event, there's a giant, very competitive volleyball game that our current 3rd years won when they were interns. So it's always a really good time. And then after the Lake George Day, we do an annual Cadaver Lab Day. The Cadaver Lab is not the fun social event, although it's a very important head by the sim department. Then afterwards, our sim director actually hosts barbecue afterwards, and it's become kind of a tradition, with the exception of this year because of COVID. But it's always a great time. This is Dr. Sheth, one of our former former chiefs. It was her birthday at that time as well. Also, a little beer pong as well that goes on. We like to do these mixers yearly. It's become a tradition as well, where we'll go bowling with the surgery department. This was a few years ago. It's always a good time, and you know, it's a good way to form relationships with a department that you work very closely with. This is a picture of one of our Wellvents. This was at Astoria Park this year. It was actually a journal club in Wellvent. Dr. Alagandela and Dr. Wood hosted this journal club, which was fantastic. And then afterwards, they very kindly let me piggyback onto their event with my Wellvent. So it was great. This is a picture of us going axe throwing. This was in Brooklyn in the dead of winter. I remember it being very, very cold, but just a good way to kind of decompress. Throwing axes is actually very liberating if anyone's ever done it. It's fantastic. It's so fun. And then again, just some of our attendings and with, I guess,
Track meetings.
Track meetings, that's what it is. It's a track meeting. This is an academic track meeting, and that's a critical care track meeting on the left and on the right. And then right around October, ASAP is a tradition for our 3rd-year residents. Our 3rd-year residents usually get to go away on conference. This is when we all went to San Diego, and our department was able to rent a catamaran for us, and we did a nice sail around the San Diego harbor. I think this is a harbor. And then finally, we get to Christmas. You're in the middle of the year. It's cold outside. It's a little, tends to be kind of a not so fun side. The ED is busy. We're working a lot. We miss our families. But we did this Christmas party for everyone who didn't get to go home this year, hosted by our former attending Dr. Stein. And then during that time, we also did a girls' night. We try to do this at least once a year. I would like this more, where we'll get, you know, get all the male residents to work one night, and all the girls will go out and have a girls' night, and then vice versa. There was a time where we did not have enough female coverage to allow the boys to have a boys' night, but now I hope that this is changing, since we have a lot more women in the program. And then this is another girls' night where we were celebrating one of our co-residents' baby shower. If you are so fortunate to join the SIM team, or have a project that is submitted into IMSH every January, there is a conference in usually somewhere warm. This is when we were in California, in LA, and we were able to present a couple projects at the International Medical Conference, Simulation Conference in Healthcare. And then another shameless sim plug. There's a picture of us at Sim Wars. Top left is in San Antonio. Oh, sorry, the top pictures are from when we were in San Antonio and presented our projects. It looks like a scary horror film, the top left. And then the bottom photo is us getting ready for Sim Wars in Elmhurst. And this is our team this year, our Sim Wars team that just participated in a virtual Sim Wars up at Jacoby. We will find out the results in a couple weeks. This is the court. So we also have a court conference. This is in April, where the academic faculty and any resident projects that get submitted, or a CPC project or CPC presentation gets presented here. And this is when we were in San Antonio on one of the riverboat rides. This is our ITE, end of the year ITE. Our two academic faculty, Dr. Mempin and Dr. Yoneda, have birthdays right around this time. So we were able to celebrate their birthdays at the time. And then finally, one of everyone's favorite events, the annual retreat. This was a day retreat to, Storm King, where we did a scavenger hunt and did the annual residency retreat. This is also more pictures of us at Storm King. It's really beautiful, upstate, about an hour. And then this is one of my favorites. During the it's a photo scavenger hunt, and they have to find a bunch of different things. Dr. Yonedo spends hours and hours planning the scavenger hunt, and they're always such a it's always such a great time. This is at Bear Mountain on the most recent retreat.
The one that you were my co-conspirator.
I was
credit for, but she actually was the mastermind behind a lot of that, and I am very grateful. I think it was good.
Yeah, it's a shameless way to get amazing pictures from our residents, though. Mm-hmm. This is also at Bear Mountain on one of the nights. We did we did a hike on one of the retreats. This is a Bear Mountain hike. We like to try to get outdoors as much as possible. Sometimes it's not possible, but this was one event. We're also trying to plan, like Dr. Parikh said, an outdoor Halloween pumpkin jack-o'-lantern night. Another one of our well events at a local outdoor bar. And then this is also our most recent well event, where we all gathered at Dr. Torres's house. He was able to host us, and we had a well event regarding physician depression and suicide. Very heavy topic, but he made for an appropriate setting, and it was really a great time. And then this was our first well event of the year, Gantry Park. It's always a favorite. I think that's going to become a new tradition. It was double-fold welcome, because everyone was just emerging from the COVID era. So everyone was ready and willing to be out in the sunshine. And then just to bring it back to the ones that really are starting off their residency, these are our interns, a picture of the three of them enjoying the city. There's so much that New York City has to offer. Even if if you don't drink the Kool-Aid, which is okay, it's fine. There are so many individual or, other opportunities to see in New York City to still promote your wellness. And then just more fun photos. I love this one because we love our pets, and we have quite a few that are featured in our program. I don't know who Nao is holding to the left. It
Waffles.
Might be. Oh, is it Waffles?
Yeah.
It's like baby Waffles.
Baby Waffles. Yeah.
So we have Nao with Waffles, Sumi, and Archie. I think this is Lexi, right? Lexi. With Jeremiah and Jeremy, sorry. And Luann, Lucille, Luann, in all the way to the right, a Jewish Luann.
That's Stevie.
That's Stevie.
Alex Chu's dog.
Alex Chu's puppy. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then our newest member of the bunch, Lolo. Hello. This is Mr. Lorenzo. This is Nao's new puppy that she fostered, and he's so lovely. This is a photo of us at the wine retreat, and more wine retreat photos. So I didn't get to mention my favorite event. This one's my favorite event. We do this as a goodbye to our graduating class. It's always like a very fun time. We rent a bus and we go out to Long Island visit about 3 or 4 wineries. Everyone seems to love it. More wineries. This is just a picture of the girls. And then towards the right is a photo of a fun club night that we had in SAM in Vegas. This is Dr. Louis feature here. We had a pizza night. I think Natalie mentioned making artisanal pizza with her boys, and we also did another pizza night with Dr. Stein for our faculty development. That was super fun. And then to the right we have another resident, Dr. Louis, playing bocce ball. And then this, for some reason, 2019 was the year of all the weddings. One of our residents, Emily Au, got married in Monterey, and we had a big group of us that were able to fly out over there and celebrate with her. So this was one of the many weddings that that was in 2019. And this is our beach day. You can recognize Dr. Briones on the top right. Oh, and on the left. And then, this was Dr. Mish. This was one of his last days. He was one of our former academic fellows. This is us saying goodbye to him. Graduation with a group of Dr. Louis' class, which also includes JM, our beloved resident. Oh, and that's it.
Sorry, I left that slide when I got it. That was there was supposed to be more to that slide, but it is a cute photo, and sorry I didn't take it out. But that's also graduation this year.
Yes.
That's my fault.
Thank you guys so much for coming to this webinar. I hope we didn't talk your ears off. I know it was a lot of, we love each other, but we really do love each other, which is kind of, it's great actually. Naya, were you able to answer all the questions in the chat, or do you know? I don't know. I feel like someone was monitoring.
Questions, feel free to pose them. Otherwise, I know it's not really a topic where you're like, a million things come to mind besides that which we discussed. It makes me super thrilled to get to work at a program where wellness really comes first, mental, psychological, emotional. I just wanted to say, like we're broadcasting. This is our last webinar from the EM house, and I'm looking in this office here, like right in the corner is like the air mattress that one of the other faculty members got for me. When they found out I sometimes take naps here after working night shifts and coming to interviewing the morning of. And another faculty member actually bought me another portable bed when they heard about this too. And I wouldn't have eaten lunch today if it wasn't for these girls, Anita and Anika, who had gotten lunch and they knew I didn't eat, so they keep giving me food. And it is a lot of I love you, I love you, I love you, but I do love you guys a lot. Thank you for hosting this.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the panelists that were here, and thank you for coming to listen to us gush about us.
It's clear how close you guys are.
Yeah.
I have one last thing to say.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
Closing remarks. Yes, go ahead.
Closing remarks. Yes, it's a lot of I love you, I love you, I love you. But I feel like as a medical student, when I was interviewing at all these places, everyone said exactly the same thing over and over and over again. They were like, we're friends. Or no, actually they would say, we're family, we're an ED family, we're an ED. And like the one difference here that I've seen is that we don't have to just say it because you could just see it. Like you don't even need to say it as often. It's just very evident every time we have like med student rotators come visit the ED, they can see it. So that's what I value about you guys. I miss you.
We miss you.
A week and a half.
Okay. And counting.
This was one of the most fun of the webinars, and I had a great time. And it really made me appreciate you guys.
Bye, Clemmy. I hope you survive SICU. Bye, guys.